Well, good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm on the Isle of Lewis currently, in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. It appears to be quite a nice morning out there today, nice and bright. So I'm going to take you somewhere very special, the Garenin Blackhouse village. Let's go on a wee adventure. So you're probably thinking the same thing as me before I came here today. What is a blackhouse? See, blackhouses on the Isle of Lewis are called blackhouses due to the way they were originally constructed and the conditions inside. The term black refers to the dark, soot-coloured walls of the interior. See, they had no chimneys, so the smoke from the peat fires would actually go out through the roof itself and blacken it. You know, despite the smoke, these houses were incredibly well insulated. It would be fantastic to take you inside, but unfortunately it is February, so they're closed for the season, and so I won't get a chance to go inside them today. But for anyone that's looking to come to Lewis, they also have rental accommodation in the village here as well. I don't know if it's these type of houses or not. You can check that out online. I've already got my accommodation, as you know. Oh, this is really cool. It is like in time when you come here. A lot of these houses have been standing literally for centuries, you know, and in fact the last inhabitants of this village only left in the 1970s, believe it or not, and now it's become a conservation area and they've done some restoration works and things like that, but fantastic. You know, and the thing is as well, these houses didn't just house people, they also housed livestock with them as well. And they were built this way specifically to withstand the harsh weather and environment that you can often get on the Outer Hebridean Islands. And they do offer a glimpse into the unique crofting life here on the Isle of Lewis. You know, when you walk through the village, you get the sense that it's not just only a living museum, but it's a place where stories of resilience and heritage are still alive today. Now, there's a no drone sign here at the car park, so I'm going to take a wee walk up the hill just to see if I can get you an aerial view with this camera. I've decided I'm going to head up the east coast and head north from Stornoway. And I don't think you can get all the way to the sort of northeast point, if you like you can at the Port of Ness up at the Butt of Lewis on the west coast. I think you can only go sort of about as far as Gary Beach, thereabouts, but I'm just gonna randomly go. It's gonna be raining today a bit, there's gonna be a bit of wind, but I'm just gonna go and explore and see what's there. So come along with me on a wee adventure. So my first stop is Gary Beach. The tide is out, I did just check. I'm gonna go and see if I can find some caves. Tell you what, it's a beautiful beach and I've got it all to myself. Right, I think this might be the entrance to a cave or one of them. Don't know, let's check it out. The water's still coming up. Well, it's receding. Look at all that red in the rocks. Wow. I'll need to ask my pal Louisa, the Scottish geologist, what that is. That is... Colours are amazing. Even though the tide's almost fully out, you can see the water The water just came right up behind me there. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy facing the other way filming. Absolutely shat myself. Well, that was great. I need to find out more about the geology of those rocks and where that sort of orangey red colour comes from. Because it was everywhere inside there. Now my next stop is from the same car park. It's literally not even a 5-minute walk. It's called the Bridge to Nowhere. Now I did say earlier I wasn't sure if there was a road past here to go up the sort of north-east coast. And this bridge kind of explains why there isn't one. This bridge was commissioned by Lord Leverhulme, who owned the island of Lewis from 1918 to 1923 as part of the construction of his proposed road between Tolsta and Ness. Lord Leverhulme had great plans for the island, but the timing of his projects was unfortunate as it caused conflict with the returning servicemen from the First World War who wanted land for crofting rather than work for Leverhulme. The Tolsta crofters supported Lord Leverhulme and agreed unanimously a resolution not to take part in any illegal raiding of farms in Lewis for at least 10 years, to give Lord Leverhulme the necessary opportunity and support required to make his scheme a success. Raids, however, continued throughout the island on the Leverhulme farms, and all road construction eventually ceased in April 1921. The Tolsta Road to Ness was never completed. It's also part of the Lewis Heritage Trail. Well, what an interesting little bit of history that is. I did wonder why there wasn't a road on the east side going up to the Port of Ness, round that way. Yeah, really, I love finding little things like that. And I would have never known anything about that bridge, the Gary Bridge, the Bridge to Nowhere, before coming there and reading the sign myself, really. I love just finding little things, like little daft things like that. I always find them dead interesting. I'm just gonna drive a couple of minutes really back the way. I think you'll see it when you're coming over this hill here, Tolsta Beach. It looks a cracker. Wow, what a stunning looking beach. Well, what a beautiful beach. That was unexpected. I'd heard of Gary Beach I knew that there was a cave there, but I hadn't really looked at Tolsta Beach. It is beautiful. I did chance it and put my drone in the air very briefly to get a couple of shots, but I almost lost it. It is pretty windy and the gusts are about sort of 40-50 mile an hour, which is far too much for my wee drone. But I got it back safely, thankfully. Things you do for the bloody shot. But I'm now quite excited for the rest of this day as well, because I've just had a conversation with a woman called Nikki, and she's the owner of one of the many honesty shops that you get on Lewis and Harris, and hers is called the Crafty Weaver. Now, she'd commented on one of my posts, I think it was when I visited the Curiosity Caravan. I think she posted on Facebook or something like that. The actual store itself is closed at the moment. I think it opens in March or April. However, she has kindly offered to let me see some Harris Tweed being woven. And that is an offer I cannot refuse. And I'm really excited about it. Well, wow, this is actually like a traditional style loom then.
So yeah, this is a double width Griffiths loom, which what most Harris Tweed's now woven on. And there's about 140 weavers roughly on the island who all work from their own sheds.
So is this like a first generation or a second generation loom then?
I think this is a first generation of this style, but there was a previous one which was a much more older sort of wooden cast iron style loom, which you'll see in some of the sort of Blackhouses and things. A few weavers still use the old looms. There are a few still going, but yeah, this is the main one that is woven on now. So. All
right, okay, brilliant. Yeah. Well, how does it actually operate then? Are you able to show me? Or?
Yeah, it actually operates by pedal power.
Right, okay.
Amazing.
So you just literally sit there and pedal?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to keep an eye on it, but I do have a telly as well, so I've got some entertainment. So that comes along, it picks it up, it cuts it on a little blade, and then it takes it all the way back through, drops it off that end, and it comes back empty. But it comes back to pick up the next thread. And if I had different colours in, the card would drop the right colour in at the right point for a tartan or something. But yeah.
All right, okay, yeah, so you're zooming about. I'm never chasing that. Once you get a bit quicker, wow.
But yeah, so it comes along, it picks it up, it just cuts it, drags it all the way back through, and then this squashes it all tight.
Oh man,
And then
that is so cool. Oh. Wow. So it's just a pedal. See, like there's a bike chain basically down there and everything as well?
Yeah, that drives the drive shaft underneath, and there's various cogs and pulleys and things that turn to make it work the way it should. It can change the order that these are called the boards, and this sets the pattern, so we can change the order that they go in to make different patterns. And change the order of threads to make different patterns. And then there's a choice of 6 different colours I can put through. So there's quite a lot of options for designs and patterns and textures that whoever the customer is wants.
Wow,
that
right,
they order,
okay.
so.
And so when did you start making your little crafts then?
The Little Sheep and Cows started really back in 2010, not long after I started weaving, because my hands needed something to do when I was pedaling, and it was either knit or eat chocolate. So I figured knitting. I still eat chocolate, but not as much. So knitting was the more healthy option.
Yeah.
And then it was to use up the waste as well. So they started way back in 2010, and I just sold them in a local shop. And then it kind of just organically carried on from there. I learnt to sew and decided to teach myself to sew, and then I was dyeing yarn. And it just all sort of, I don't really know when it started, it just sort of happened.
Right, okay. Oh, well, that's good though. That's one of the things that I've really loved about sort of travelling around. I mean, like you said, a lot of them are closed at the moment because there is such harsh conditions with the honesty shops and the boxes.
Yeah.
A lot of them are closed at the moment, and I just happened to be passing the Curiosity Caravan.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And met Susie, but it was funny because I went in and bought myself a little gift, left money, and it wasn't until she just randomly turned up, and then it wasn't until I was speaking to her that I saw a sign saying closed, and I was like, shit, should I have not been in there then? And she says, oh, it's okay, I'm just not organised, the lights aren't on and stuff like that. But no, it was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And it was lovely to meet her. But it's just such a, like, you do get them on the mainland. You know, you do get, and it's often at farms, they'll be selling eggs, fresh berries, fresh produce. And you get them all over the UK, in fact, as well, not just in Scotland. But I've never quite seen ones like how they have them here.
They started off
where
really
it's
as
crafts
eggs,
and there's
then there
cakes,
was cakes and then they sort of developed into crafts and things. It's a couple of years before I started mine that the craft ones were starting to pop up. Then I thought, well, because I sell in the local shops all year round, so it's like there is my stuff available all year round, but it's just quite exciting having a little shop where people can just discover. I make unique things to go in there, things I might not make sort of multiples of to go in the shops. I might just make one of something, and it just goes out there and it's sort of a little treat, a little treasure trove.
Yeah, no, I love it, and it's just there's something about it for me that there's a real, it sort of has that old-fashioned sense of community.
Yeah.
And you do feel that around here, actually, when you speak to locals and you speak to people. There is that sort of older, traditional sort of community feel, which you just don't get anymore in big cities and in the Central Belt, where 80% of our population lives in Scotland, certainly. Anyway, it's just kind of lost. But you still have it here, and those
lovely,
honesty shops are kind of, I think they just typify it. Do you know what I mean? There's a trust there.
There is,
and
it's really nice.
Island life's just totally different,
isn't it?
It's
completely different, but I think it's just really sort of special and really nice to be able to live up there.
It is, and even though for this last week I've not had the best of weather, even just going around the different areas and even the beaches and the water, they still look like that. In the spring, summer, a nice spring May day or something like that, the water must be
why I've got no desire to go on
incredible.
holiday. Because I don't need to, because I've got it all here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm really lucky. I could just go out for the day, and that could be my holiday.
I mean, they look like the Caribbean, but they certainly don't feel like it, though. I went in. I don't mind my cold dips, but I went to Luscantire. I did like the Golden Road around Harris, and then did all the a lot of the beaches. But I went to Luscantire. I've been wanting to go there for ages, and I went in for a cold dip. And it was absolutely Baltic.
Well, I think
really cold.
March is the coldest sea temperature up here because it's had all winter to get cold. And then it starts to get warm, and then sort of October is the warmest because it's had all summer to get warm. So you're almost on the very coldest of the sea temperature up here.
It was freezing, and because of the wind, it was quite choppy. So there was some waves coming in as well. So it was had a couple of uncomfortable moments. Let's put it that way.
I like the sea, but I'm a full wetsuit, boots, hats, sort of sea swimmer. That's when I'll go.
I mean, there's no swimming when I go in. It's just go in, have a dip, out again. 20 seconds later, 30 seconds later. It was particularly cold, but it's just that sort of corner of Harris that has those beaches. Nisabos, Horgabost, Shield Bost, Luskin Tyre. They're all
It's
just right there,
so
one
nice.
after the other.
Yeah.
It's,
well, I'm really lucky because when I go down to do deliveries wherever, because I've got things all around the island in various shops, I get to go to all those beaches. So I look at the weather forecast at the beginning of the week and go, I need to go out and deliver. What is the best day? So I pick the best day to go out, because being self-employed, I can do this on an evening. A week can be done on an evening or sort of in between, but I can pick a good day to go out and explore. So,
no, it's good. And the beaches at that side of Lewis as well, out at like Reef Beach and all the rest.
Oh
my God!
Yeah.
Aye, they were quite something. I must admit. What was the place I went? Great
Burnham?
Yeah. Went all the way
Tolsta.
down there, Tolsta Beach and that. Fantastic.
Some beautiful coastal walks as well from there.
I was gutted though because it was so windy and there was no way I was going to get my drone in the air. I mean, I actually tried it and just about lost it in the sea twice. I was like, nah, I'm giving up on it because it was just too windy, you know.
Bit of a downside here sometimes.
But it was, but they were just stunning. And some of the drives are just out of this world.
It's incredible.
You know, that Reef Beach sort of loop that you do.
Yeah.
And that's just was amazing. Absolutely amazing. The views you get of the beaches on your left just as you're driving around clockwise.
It's just beautiful. And then you'll get a little glimpse of the sun will come through and it'll just sort of light it up in a certain way. And you'll just get a fleeting glimpse, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. So.
How much of this will you actually weave then? Like how big is the actual fabric, the end result?
So the width of it will be about 1.5 metres wide, which is the standard width once it's washed, because it always shrinks a little bit.
Yep.
So it's a bit bigger now. And this tweed I've got on at the moment will be about 50 metres.
50 metres?
About 50 metres of tweed. The previous two I had, because they often put more than one length of each of the same colour on the roll at the time, so it's more convenient. The previous two I had were 65 metres. So it depends on who's ordered it, to how much tweed they want, as to how long they do. But they range between 50, 55 up to 85 metres per length.
God, I thought they'd be like 5 metres or 50 metres.
50 metres.
That's like industrial lengths.
Yeah. Once it's finished, it's put on a big roll and it's like that sort of round. Once it's all from the mill,
So how long does that actually take then? Like
I weave about 3 metres an hour, which is fairly slow compared to some weavers. Some will do 4.5, 5 metres an hour. But again, it depends on how your loom's set up, what your loom decides it wants to, how your knees feel.
And this prefers a slightly slower pedal anyway, like you said.
It tends, if you get beyond, with some looms, if you get beyond a certain speed, you'll start to get it breaking threads and things, which then means you have to stop and fix them. So the slower you go, it's sort of more consistent. Some looms are really well tuned by engineers that understand a lot of the stuff that goes on, which I don't. And they can tune them so that they can pedal really fast.
I'm trying to do the math here. So if you do three an hour.
3 metres an hour, yeah.
So 50 metres. So
it's about 20 hours roughly per length. Before that, on each beam. So this was 3 lengths on what we call a beam, which is the big roll of threads that the mill deliver to me. I have to tie that in beforehand, so I have to tie each thread for the new tweed onto the old one that I leave in the loom. And that's a cut between 2 and 6 hours work, depending on the pattern. It's not ideal.
I mean, the amount there is that's mind-boggling.
1,416.
1,416 pieces of threads.
There's 1,392 in the width of the tweed, and then there's 24. There's 12 at each end, which are the waste selvage that gets cut off. So I think my maths is correct.
That's outrageous.
And then if we have to change it from a herringbone to a plain twill, other patterns, that's again another change, which can be again between 2 and 6 hours, depending on the pattern and how fast you work and how often you get sidetracked for coffee or to stare out the window and all these other things that take time. So
amazing.
it is a big process, which is why they try and put more than one length of tweed on the beam, so that you only tie in once for 3 tweeds or 5 tweeds.
Wow.
So it does sort of, they try and make it as easy as possible at the mill. Occasionally you'll get a single tweed on a beam because only one's been ordered. But that's fine, because I don't mind tying in too much.
Wow. Oh, fantastic. I love this sort of stuff. It's great. And it's just it's so refreshing just seeing it being done in a traditional manner as well. It really is.
In a cold, drafty loom shed. It's very island.
That is very island. Yeah, very much so. Right, so it's my shot. Nikki's kindly gonna let me have a little pedal here. Right, okay, so
Just pedal forward.
just pedal as you would normally.
Yeah, not too fast, that's it.
So I can officially say I've woven some tweed now.
You can. Well done.
Oh, well listen, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Honestly, thanks for your time, thanks for this experience.
A pleasure.
It's you know, I'll never forget it. It's my last day on Lewis and Harris, and this is just the best way to finish up my time here. So thank you so much. It's a Scottish man in a van played. Well, you cannot wipe the smile off my face after that. That was such a good experience. Nikki's lovely, really knows her stuff, and she did give me a little gift as well. One of her wee mini coups. She's hand dyed, hand woven, and I bought a pair for some friends and family as well, and gave her a wee tip too. So honestly, what an experience. I actually got to weave some Harris Tweed. What an amazing experience, and what a way to end my time on Lewis and Harris. I've really enjoyed exploring Lewis and Harris, and everyone I've met along the way. A couple I met in the pub on Stornoway on Saturday night, lovely couple. To Nikki, to Susie from the Curiosity Caravan, just the people I've met on the road as well, or who've stopped me in a shop to say, "You're that man in a van." Thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy and an absolute pleasure, and I shall return. That is for certain. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you have and you'd like to support the channel, please like, subscribe and hit the bell button to receive notifications of my next van life adventure. Slán Java. Like and subscribe for more van life adventures.